सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Let us chant from verse number 5 to 15. Sattvam rajastama iti गुणाः प्रकृतिसम्भवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम् तत्र सत्त्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकमनामयम् सुखसङ्गेन बध्नाति ज्ञानसङ्गेन चानघ रजो रागात्मकं विद्धि तृष्णासङ्गसमुद्भवम् कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनं तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत सत्त्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्त्वं भवति भारत तमस्सत्त्वं रजस्तथा सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत लोभः प्रवृत्तिरारम्भः कर्मणामशमस्पृहा विवृद्धे भरतर्षभ अप्रकाशो प्रवृत्तिश्च प्रमादो मोह एव च तमस्येतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे कुरु नन्दन यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तदोत्तमविदां लोकान् अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढयोनिषु जायते. So Bhagavān in the 14th chapter takes up a thorough study of the three gunas of the mind, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. This study is essential because all our problem is nothing but psychological bondage. There is no real bondage. Bondage is caused by the mind. So for this liberation has to be at the level of the mind. So therefore, a thorough study about the mind is taken up. So what are the topics discussed? Number 1, the characteristics of each gunas, lakshanaha, how it binds us, bandhana prakaraha, what are the indications of its presence, lingam, then what is the result under the influence of a particular guna, what is the end result, PHALAM, and then GATI at the time of death, what happens to a person under the influence of a particular guna. So what all have we seen? We have seen lakshana, characteristics we have seen. Then bandhana prakara, how it binds us, that we have seen. What else have we seen? Lingam, indication, that also we have seen. So Sattva is characterized by prakasha, jnana, sukha, peace of mind, cheerfulness, clarity in thinking. What about Rajas? Its very nature is desire. So how does it bind us? Karma sangena. It binds us to action. What about Tamas? It is of the nature of delusion. It deludes us. So what is the effect? Carelessness, laziness, sleep, all that. Now Bhagavān says that these gunas at a time they don't come together, they come one after the other. One becomes predominant by suppressing the other two. So this is the way those gunas appear in the mind. So yesterday we were discussing how to make sure that we are predominantly in Sattva-guna. So yesterday we were discussing that mind has this nature that whatever we train the mind behaves accordingly. Samskāras can be given to the mind. Culture can be given to the mind. The mind can be educated, trained, disciplined. So how we train the mind, accordingly it will behave. So as a spiritual seeker, the highest priority is to train the mind in the sattvic way. Right. Now comes a new topic, that is GATI. GATI means Marananantara Gati. At the time of death, after death, where will a person go? Under the influence of these modes. So now let us see verse number 14. It talks about a person who dies with a sattvic mood. At the time of death, the mood is sattvic. What happens to that person? Verse number 14. We have chanted. Let us chant it together once again. Yada sattve pravriddhetu pralayam yati dehabhrita tadottam-vidāhā lokan amalan pratipadyate. Yada sattve pravriddhe. When sattva is on the rise, when the sattvic guna is predominant, when dehabhrita pralayam yati. Dehabhrita. Dehabhrita means the one who is carrying the body, the one who is supporting the body. We are all dehabhrit. Another meaning is bhrit. Bhritya means servant. The one who is a servant of his body. So what are we? We are all servants of our body. Morning till evening, what are we doing? Serving the body, cleaning it, doing all the makeups, isn't it? Clothing it. So who are we? Dehabhrit means servants. Anyway, So this person who is identified with the body, pralayam, here pralayam means what? Physical death. So at the bodily level, he is going to leave the body. But at that time, what is his state of mind? Sattve pravruddhe. When sattva is intense, sattva has become intense by suppressing the rajas and tamas. So the mind is full of sattva. At that time when he dies, what happens to him? Tada uttam-vidāhā lokan amalan pratipadyate. Where does he go? Amalan lokan. Uttam-vidāhā lokan pratipadyate. He goes to the higher worlds. The worlds where the knowers of the highest go. The worlds which are pure, noble, great. So this is what is being said. So what are those higher worlds? So in our scriptures we have 14 worlds. This world is one among the 14 worlds. What is the name of this world? Bhū. This world is called Bhū. So the other 6 higher ones are Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. These are the higher worlds. So according to the intensity of sattva in him, he goes to the higher worlds. Greater the intensity of sattva, higher the world he goes. So here is a person who is an upasaka. Throughout his life he has led a very noble life, a pure life, a God-oriented life, a sattvic life. Therefore, at the time of death, what kind of mind is he possessing? He is possessing a sattvic mind. At the time of death, it is said, you cannot choose the state of mind. There are very many people who say, let us live the way, indulging in all pleasures. Eat, drink and be merry. At the time of death we will chant Narayana. That is enough. Then we will be liberated. Isn't it? And who is our role model? Ajamila. He lived a notorious life and at the time of death he uttered Narayana and he was saved. Very many people have kept him as a role model. We will not work hard, live the way we want. In the end, one chant of Narayana. Let us keep this in mind. It is impossible. What kind of lifestyle you lead throughout your life, day by day, month by month, year by year, what kind of samskāras you have given momentum, those samskāras alone will come at the time of death. Prana prayana samaye kapha bata pittaihi kantavarodhana vidhau smaranam kutaste. At the time of death, it is said, varieties of problems will strike you. Kapha, bata, pitta. It will create lot of trouble. Lot of pain will be there in the body. Suffering will be there. At that time, what kind of samskāras will come out? Only that which you have entertained throughout your life, that alone will come. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamaiveti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever thoughts you have at the time of death, those thoughts will decide your future course of action. So therefore what we must do? Intensify the momentum of sattva. This is what we have to do. Live a sattvic life and then you don't have to worry about the time of death. Whatever time is available, don't waste it. Make use of it. And what is the right way of making use of it? Live a noble life, live a sattvic life and give these samskāras. So such a person is being discussed here. So throughout his life, he has given importance to spiritual knowledge. He has lived a dharmic way, a righteous life, a pure life, a noble life, a God-oriented life. Such a way he has lived. So naturally at the time of death, what will be pravriddha, intensely present? It will be sattva guna which will be pravriddha. So which worlds will you go? According to your samskāras, you will go to such worlds. Uttam-vidāhā lokan. Here uttama can be taken as Ishvara. Who is uttama? The best. None other than Bhagavān. Uttama-vidāhā means the knower of Bhagavān, the worshippers of Bhagavān. Here Vidāhā means upasakas. The upasakas who worship the Lord, they go to the higher worlds because of their purity. To such worlds, this person goes. What is the nature of this world? Amalan. Those worlds are pure, free from all kinds of sensual indulgences. There is peace, there is tranquility, there is joy. That kind of world he will go. This is what is said. Now this is very logical because even in this world while living, if you just observe, the world around you is linked to what kind of thoughts are present in you. Your thoughts and the world around you has got connection. Because some people may say, I don't believe in all this nonsense. Who knows whether world exists or not? Okay, fine. If you don't believe in this world, doesn't matter. At least while living, you observe yourself. You observe this world. This law is true here also. What kind of thoughts you have, that kind of world you create around yourself. In this world you will find there are varieties of subjects. People who have mastered a particular branch of subject, if you observe, you will find that that person has created that world around him also accordingly. Somebody shows interest in sports. What kind of world will be formed around him? Sports world. Somebody shows interest in, say, science. What kind of world? Science world. Somebody shows interest in politics. What kind of world is formed around him? Politics. Isn't it? You look into your own life. What kind of subject you have shown interest in your college days? Now see how the world around you has changed. Somebody takes up engineering, an engineering world is formed. Somebody takes up medicine, a medical world is formed. Somebody takes up law, and he has to deal with the court and the criminals and this and that, isn't it? Just observe the connection between the thoughts trained and the world around the person. There's a deep connection. Somebody encourages criminal thoughts. What kind of world will be formed? Criminal world will be formed. What kind of dreams will he have? He will always have the dreams of police chasing him. He will have the dreams of jails. He will have the dreams of himself hiding, police patrolling, and all those things he will have. Your dream world also will be related to your thoughts. Your waking world also is related to your thoughts. So if this is true in this world, it must definitely be true in the other world also. What kind of samskāras you have, that kind of world you form around you. Especially in spirituality. What is this especially in spirituality? Once upon a time, it's our experience, when you are not very spiritual, you will have worldly friend circle. What kind of discussions will happen there in the worldly friend circle? All worldly discussions will happen. Slowly what happens is, somewhere you get introduced to spirituality. Somewhere you start attending satsang. You are very much inspired by the lofty thoughts in the satsang. Slowly, slowly your thoughts also start changing. You come to know the very purpose of life. You are inspired by the noble values, the noble goal presented by the scriptures. Slowly, slowly you start doing more and more sadhana. More and more clarity comes. With more and more clarity, you start devoting more and more time to satsang, the spiritual matters. Now you have more and more time for spirituality, and naturally, since you spend more and more time in spirituality, you will have lesser and lesser time for other things. And you start enjoying that state also. Greater and greater peace you start enjoying. There is more and more clarity. Then what happens? What about the old friend circle, worldly circle? They start observing these changes in you, that you are no more taking part in their worldly gossip and activities. Slowly, 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 what happens? You will find that the worldly surroundings, worldly atmosphere is replaced by a spiritual atmosphere. If you are really progressing spiritually, this must happen. Your surroundings, your environment will change. No doubt about it. You cannot say, no, I am comfortable with worldly people also. I am comfortable with spiritual people also. No. It only means that your spiritual fire has not been well lit. If that spiritual fire is really burning in you, you will really see the difference. The worldly people will come, and where will they invite you? Come, a new mall has come. Let us go and wander around. Come, a new film has come. Let us go and see. Come, a new restaurant has come. Let us go and eat. This is the way worldly people will attract you, pull you. Now, once the spiritual fire has been well lit, will you show interest in them? You will say, no, at this time I have satsang, some jnana yajna is going on, some talk is going on, I have to do my meditation, I have to do my prayer, I have to do my japa. This is how you escape. And are they interested in all this? They are not interested. They will try to pull you, you try to pull them. Why don't you also come? A Gita jnana yajna is going on. Why don't you also come and sit? What will they say? No. Relatives have come, guests have come, I don't have time, They will try to escape. The question is, who is stronger? If your worldly samskāras are stronger, you will listen to them. If your spiritual samskāras are stronger, either they will listen to you or they will run away. But one thing is for sure, nobody will obstruct your progress in spiritual path. So slowly what happens is your environment starts changing. Earlier you had a worldly friend circle, now you have a spiritual friend circle. You will come and meet so many satsangis. In the satsanga you will come to know various people who are interested in spirituality. Devotee class. So what kind of friend circle you will have? Devotee friend circle you will have. What kind of discussion will happen in devotee friend circle? The discussion will be about God, it will be about truth, isn't it? See how the change has happened. That is why Bhagavān says, Satsangatve Nissangatvam Nissangatve Nirmohatvam Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti. What is the first step? Satsang, association with the wise. With satsang, what must necessarily happen? Nissanga from dussanga must happen. Disassociation from dussang. Now what is this dussang? Dussang doesn't mean criminal people and all that. Not necessarily. Any sangha, any association where worldly chats are going on, that is called dussang. Bas. Simple. Worldly chat, gossip. So a group of people come together, they are talking about government, they are talking about politics, they are talking about movies, they are talking about cricket and this and that, all nonsensical thing. Any such discussion where it is not spiritual, it is not God-oriented, it is dussang. If you are enjoying dussang, what does it mean? The spiritual fire has not yet been fully lit. If you are enjoying it, it means only that. If you are finding distaste in this dussang, it means the fire has really picked up. After that association, after that chat, you will find that, I have wasted my time. I could have used this time for something good. You will repent. That pain of repentance will be intense if you are really spiritually strong. In fact, it is a sattvic mind which tells you what you have done is wrong. This is not the way to spend time. The more and more your sattva content increases, the more and more you become very sensitive to these issues. How am I spending time? With whom am I spending time? What are the discussions happening? Is it elevating me or is it polluting my mind? You become more and more sensitive. And as you become more and more sensitive, you become very choosy. Choosy with regards to books, choosy with regards to company, choosy with regards to what kind of thoughts go through your mind. Everything. Life undergoes a salutary change, you can say. You're very serious about the spiritual matters. You're very serious about the time you spend. You have a good quantity of time meant only for spiritual pursuit. You start valuing it. And when you start value something, you will have enough and more time for it. So when this kind of changes start happening in you, what kind of world will be formed around you? You will find it will be spiritual world alone. It has to be that way. So in this world itself you will find that. You will not give excuses with regard to spirituality. I know very many people who sometimes what happens is they are, because of some jobs, they will have to go to US. So they come and say, Swamiji, I am going to such and such place in US. Do you have any mission centers there? Do you have any mission centers in the United States or United Kingdom? This is the place where I am going to say, which is the nearest center so that I can go. Now what does it mean? Even when they are leaving, they are finding out where. See, the world is changing, but what kind of world are they choosing? They are choosing a spiritual world. They are choosing a spiritual environment. It happens very many times. Sometimes from some part we get called. Swamiji, I am coming to Mangaluru. I heard that we have an ashram there. So naturally we ask, why don't you go and stay in some hotels? No, Swamiji. Staying in ashram, it has a different effect. Hotels are available. All comforts and conveniences are there. AC rooms, etc. are there. They will say, no, we would like to stay in ashram only. Because they feel at home when they are in a spiritual environment. These are the indications that our real, that spiritual fire is well lit. We are not comfortable with any other environment. People who are very busy, professionally very busy, what do? Now all this traffic, from Bangalore to Bangalore you need at least 1.5 hours. From Mumbai to Bangalore they come in 1 hour. From Bangalore airport to, it takes another 1 hour. Very interesting. So what to do? Fine, they have all these CDs. They have these spiritual talks, discourses, they just put it. So 1.5 hours, even when they are sitting in the car, which world are they in? They are not in the traffic. Because your world is not the outer world. Your world is really where your mind is, where your thoughts are. So what do? They just put these talks, they listen to these discourses and keep their mind at the feet of the Lord. Right? So in this world itself you see what according to your samskāras, your world around you changes. You choose your world. So if this is true with this world, it must definitely be true with the other world also. Sometimes on the first day, during such Gita Jnana Yajnas, some people accidentally land up in this, seeing the nice, pamphlets, hoardings, etc. Just to see. Let me see what this Gita Jnana Yajna is. They come and sit. If they are rajasic or tamasic, they will be miserable. They will be fish out of water. Why? This world is not meant for them, therefore. A rajasic person, what kind of world he will enjoy? A rajasic world he will enjoy. So by mistake he has come into a spiritual world. So what will he do? Within 5 minutes. Now you may not be observing, but we are observing. Wicket starts falling down first day. After 2 days, 3 days, things settle. Then there is no falling of wickets. Why do they settle? Because now the people who have listened, they know what kind of content. Is it meant for me or is it not meant for me? They know. So that is why we always keep the door open. Total freedom is given. Because we cannot force anything upon anyone. That is not right. You choose. If you find that this is interesting, if you find that this is according to your taste, you are most welcome. But if you find that this is not meant for you, then please don't disturb others. You are free to go. Because what kind of samskāras, what kind of people come with what kind of samskāras, we don't know. So the freedom is given. This is true with everything. The seekers of truth, they will choose such places. The seekers of pleasures, they have other places. In this world, Bhagavān has provided everything for everyone. You choose according to your need. It is said that Bhagavān is like a waiter in the hotel. A waiter. What does the waiter bring? Waiter brings what you order, isn't it? So in the hotel, if you order idli vada, the waiter has to bring idli vada. He has no choice. In the same way, what do you want? Everything is available in the world. So here is a person who has chosen a sattvic world. He has chosen sattvic thoughts, noble thoughts, good deeds. So what kind of world he must go? Naturally, he must go to a sattvic world. So the laws, whether this world or that world, it's all the same. So here is a person who goes to such worlds where the saints and the sages go, the noble people go, the worlds full of purity, full of light, full of knowledge, full of peace. They are called as the higher worlds. Now what about the rajasic and the tamasic people? The next verse. In one verse, Bhagavān finishes them off. Together, rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralīnastamasi mūಢayonishu jayate. Yes. Rajasi pralayam gatva. When a person dies with rajasic content, when the mind is in the rajoguna, at that time when a person dies, where does he go? Karma sangishu jayate. He is born in a world where maximum importance is given to action. Karma sangis. Where karma sangis live, karma sangis go. People who are attached to action. Sattvic people are people who are attached to knowledge. People who are attached to knowledge, they are called as sattvic people. People who are attached to action, they are called as rajasic people. People who crave for recognition, honor, promotion. Their highest goal is all this. Wealth, pleasures. They are all called as rajasic people. They are not interested in knowledge. They are interested in awards and rewards, recognitions, praise. So this is what they have chosen while living. So into such worlds they go. Now which is that world? Among these 14, this bhū is considered to be that world. This world. So here you will find it is called as karma-bhūmi. Lot of actions, lot of what you call lot of facilities are provided for performing varieties of actions. So bhū is called as this. Normally they say that when your punya and papa, they are almost 50%, you are born as a human being. When your punya is higher, you are born into the higher worlds. When your punya is less, you are born into the lower worlds. That is how the scriptures describe. So in this world itself, they are born. Where again they have got lot of lot of freedom to perform lot of action. There are possibilities to gain recognition, fame, etc. So into such worlds they are born. What you seek, so you get. This is the law. What about the other tamasic people? Tatha pralinas tamasi. When a person dies with a tamasic mind, mudha yonishu jayate. They are born into the wombs of mudha, senseless, stupid, dull. They are born in the wombs of dull, stupid and senseless people. Now why is it so? It is so because throughout their life they have lived a tamasic life. Even when they were born as a human being, they could have done lot of noble work. They did not do. They could have attended satsang. They did not. They did not pay any value to knowledge. They did not perform any action. What do? Normally drink and lie down. So on the roadsides, etc., you will find the fellow is lying there. Why the fellow is lying? Drunk, fallen. Now Bhagavān says, oh, I have made such a big mistake. I have given a human birth to him. He is not making use of it. Maybe I have done a mistake. So better give him some kind of birth where he can lie down like that. Insect, some plant, some animal. So according to his choice, that is what he has chosen. So therefore Bhagavān, out of compassion, because what you choose, Bhagavān has to give. Aham bhakta paradhīnaha, isn't it? Helpless Bhagavān is. So this is what you have chosen. Okay, there is a better way of lying down there. In a human birth, it will be difficult. Okay, so be a python. So you will be lying like a python. Or some buffalo. Some dirty water is there and it is wallowing there. Bhagavān chooses out of compassion for them. So what you choose, Bhagavān will help you. Right? Mudha yonishu jayate. So this is Gati. Now the next two verses. Let us chant the 18th verse now, because this is connected to the 18th. 18th verse is also talking about Gati. Come to the 18th verse. Then we will take 16 and 17. 16, 17 talks about PHALAM. Whereas 18th verse, again Bhagavān comes to Gati. So let us chant 18th verse first. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvasthāhā madhye tishtanti rājasaha jaghanya guna vrittasthāhā adho gacchanti tāmasaha urdhvam gacchanti sattvasthāhā madhye tishtanti rājasaha guna vrittasthāhā adho gacchanti tāmasaha. Yes. There are two readings for this verse. Jaghanya guna vrittasthāhā or vrittasthāhā. In some text, you will find vrittasthāhā. Both are fine. No much difference. Yes, so this is also talking about Gati. Gati means after death, what happens? Urdhvam gacchanti sattvasthāhā. People who abide in Sattva, cultivate Sattva, remains in Sattva. Where do they go? Urdhvam gacchanti. They go higher and higher, higher and higher. Higher and higher means what? They keep evolving. Evolving means what? Evolving means they go nearer and nearer towards liberation. More and more devotion. Devotion grows, dispassion grows, knowledge grows. All these noble virtues, they grow. So they go higher and higher, higher and higher. While living itself, they go higher and higher. After death also, they go to the higher worlds. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvasthāhā. What about the rajasaha? Madhye tishtanti rajasaha. They remain where they are. Neither up nor down. Meaning what? In this human world, they perform action. Where do they come back? They come back to this human world. They have lot of desires for action, name, fame, recognition, power, position. They say, Bhagavān, I don't want you. I want all this. So Bhagavān says, okay, if you don't want me, then I will not force you. Go back. Get more and more of these things. So again they come back. So madhye, they remain there only. What about the tamasic people? Jaghanya guna vrittasthāhā. Jaghanya means inferior. Vritti means way of life. Those people who lead an inferior way of life, negative way of life, such people, tamasaha, where do they go? Adho gacchanti. Adho gacchanti means they go down. Down where? So the worlds are there. What are the worlds? Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. These are the lower worlds. So which world you get depends upon how intensely you have done something wrong. How intensely you are tamasic. So varieties of worlds are there. So the total 14 worlds. Higher worlds are meant for sattvic people. Lower worlds are meant for tamasic people. And the middle world is meant for the rajasic people. So this is GATI. So why is all this told? So what is the expectation of Bhagavān from us? It is said so that it is told so that we will be motivated to take up the spiritual path, the sattvic path. Go higher and higher. Don't waste your life. Time is precious. Life is precious. Start investing with good things. Cultivate good. Cultivate a sattvic mind. Lead a good life. What all you invest, it will not go a waste. You only will reap the great harvest of goodness. When you become good, you are the one who is going to be benefited the most. This is the message. Now comes the PHALAM. So PHALAM we will see 16 and 17. So when you perform an action under a particular mood, end result, what will be the end result? That is the discussion taken up. Let us chant verse number 16 and 17. Karmanas sukritasyahu Sattvikam nirmalam phalam Rajasastu phalam dukkham Ajñānam tamasa phalam Sattvat sanjāyate jñānam Rajaso lobha evaca Pramādamohau tamasaha Bhavato jñānamevaca Karmanas sukritasyahu Sattvikam nirmalam phalam Rajasastu phalam dukkham Ajñānam tamasa phalam Sattvat sanjāyate jñānam Rajaso lobha evaca Pramadamōhau tamasah bhavato jnānamevaca. Sukritasya karmanah satvikam nirmalam phalam ahuhu. Ahuhu means it is said. It is said means what? Bhagavān is telling, Arjuna, this knowledge is not something which I am giving you. This knowledge was there even before. In the beginning of the creation itself it was there. Noble people were following it. I am just reiterating it, telling it again. The same thing. I am not telling something new. It is not kapola kalpita, as they say. It is there. How does the 4th chapter begin? Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivaswan manave praha manurikshvakave bravet. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. So this knowledge is flowing from one generation to another. It was always there. So ahuhu means that. It was always there. This knowledge was ever available for those seekers of knowledge. The same thing I am telling. So ahuhu. What do they say? The wise people, the enlightened ones. Karmanah sukritasya karmanah satvikam nirmalam phalam. A person who does sattvika action, good action, noble action, sukrita, actions which are done with good intentions, such noble actions. What is the result? Sattvikam phalam, nirmalam phalam. The result is also sattvik. The result is also pure, good, noble. You do something good, the result is also good. You see the next verse. Next verse said, Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. What is the result of sattvic action? Jnanam is the result. So peace of mind, knowledge, and then goodness. This is the result of any sattvic action. This is the phalam. So at the Ādhyātmika level, Ādhibhautika level, Ādhidaivika level, you are going to be blessed by your own good action. Ādhyātmika level, what is the blessing? Your thoughts are noble, so therefore the mind is peaceful. This is a law. According to your thoughts will be the state of your mind. As the thoughts, so will be the state of your mind. So, this sattvic person is entertaining sattvic thoughts. So, because of these sattvic thoughts, the mind is at peace. Mind is cheerful. Mind is light. So, at the mind level, that is the result. So, naturally, when thoughts are sattvic, what are the words you speak? The words also will be sweet, truthful, beneficial to others. These are the words which come when your mind is Sattva. So when you speak sweetly, how will the people respond to you? The response also will be sweet, good. Isn't it? When you speak sweetly, others also will be forced to speak sweetly. Helpless. So speech is also sweet, thoughts are sweet. So what kind of relationship you will have with the world? Sattvic thoughts, sattvic speech, sattvic actions, good actions, noble actions. So naturally, the reaction from the world also will be good. When you respect others, others also will be respecting you. When you love others, others will love you. When you help others, others also will help you. So goodness everywhere. So Ādhibhautika level, what is the result? Sattvikam phalam. So now you are trying to help others in various ways. So others also you will find, they will also come forward to help you. You have a very good relationship with the world. Everybody is ready to serve you, help you. They are ready to cooperate with you. So therefore, the result is Sattvika, Ādhibhautika level. What about Ādhidaivika level? Now a sattvic person normally does everything as a worship of the Lord. He does in order to please the Lord. So now what about his connection with God? With every action, his connection, his relationship with God also improves. So how does he perform action? Before performing action, his question is one. With this action, will I please God? This is the question. So if this action, I may like it, but if God is displeased with me, I will not do it. I may dislike it, but if God wants me to do it, I will definitely do it. So it is a God-oriented life. You perform all actions in order to please God. So at the Ādhidaivika level, what happens? Devotion grows, dispassion grows, knowledge grows, relationship with God also improves day by day. So at all the three levels, the result is what? Nirmalam. Your mind becomes purer and purer day by day. Jnanam is the phalam. Your knowledge increases day by day. What knowledge? Not worldly knowledge, but spiritual knowledge. Of course, worldly knowledge also will improve. No doubt about it. When your mind is peaceful, it is efficient. Such an efficient mind is able to gain knowledge in every field. Every field. Even the mysteries of the universe will be unveiled to you. If you see the great scientists of our nation, great scientists like Ādhibhautika and all those people, without any of these complicated instruments, they could measure the distance between sun and the earth and the moon, the speed with which they are rotating. All those they could know. How? Without any instruments. How do they know? They knew it because their mind had become so sharp because of its purity that all mysteries of the universe were revealed to them by the divine force, by God. When you go deep into meditation, when you totally surrender unto Lord, and when you make a request, "Oh Lord, I would like to know this," then you will definitely know. Intuitively you will come to know all this. This is how our ancestors, the great scientists, they could know the secrets of this universe. So, jnanam is definitely phalam. So, we are not talking of worldly knowledge, though it comes as a byproduct. It comes as an insignificant byproduct. What is the main product? Atma jnanam is the main product, knowledge of the self. What is the nature of God? You come to know. In that pure mind, everything is revealed to you. So therefore, a person who lives a sattvic life, what is the result? Sattvikam nirmalam phalam. And as yesterday we had said, such a sattvic person, whenever the mind becomes rajasic or tamasic, he is aware of it at a very early stage. And therefore, he is able to nip it in the bud. A person who is sattvic, he is like a cricketer who sees the ball as though the ball is coming very slowly. Suppose there is a batsman. The bowler is bowling. And let us assume that the batsman is seeing the ball coming very slowly. Then what happens? He has enough time to play the ball, isn't it? Faster the ball, lesser the time to play. But suppose the ball is coming slowly, then you have enough time to place the ball. In the same way, a person who is sattvic, as the thoughts arises, negative thoughts, he is seeing it. One thought, two thoughts, four thoughts. He has detected it. And since he has detected it at a very early stage, he is able to eliminate it and substitute it. This is possible. This freedom is given only for a sattvic person. So therefore what happens? At a very early stage, calamities are avoided. Some negative samskāras, they are creeping up, but immediately he finishes it off. Therefore, the possibility that the negative thoughts may multiply and become words or actions, that possibility doesn't arise in a sattvic person. Before it becomes speech, he has put an end to it. Before it becomes action, he has put an end to it. At the thought level itself, he destroys it, burns it down. So therefore what happens? There is no possibility of a wrong action, wrong words, hurting words from him. So therefore every step he puts it perfectly. He moves forward perfectly. Actions are perfect, speech is perfect, thoughts are perfect. And therefore there is peace, there is happiness, there is perfection, there is material progress, and there is spiritual evolution. Everything happens. Sattvikam, nirmalam, phalam. Okay, what about rajas? Rajasastu phalam, dukkham. What is the end result? Dukkham, sorrow. See the next verse. Rajaso lobha evacha. The result of rajas is lobha, greed, dukkha, sorrow. What is the motivating factor for a rajasic person? It is desire. Earlier it is said. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi. Isn't it? It is desire oriented. So what is this? What does this desire do? For that you will have to come to the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So when Arjuna asks, Bhagavān, why is it that even though we know that something is wrong, we helplessly commit sin? This is the question. Why do even the knowledgeable person commit sin, even though he knows that this should not be done? So what is the answer given? Kama eshaha, krodha eshaha, rajo guna samudbhavaha, mahashano mahapapma, vidhyenam iha vairinam. Understand this kama, Arjuna, to be the greatest enemy. It is mahashanaha, it will eat away everything. Your name, fame, wealth, everything it will eat away. Kama means desire. But how does this desire force me to commit sin? So there the 3 examples are given. What are the examples? Dhumena vriyato vannihi yathadarsho malenacha yatholbe navrto garbha tatha tena idam avritam. What does this desire do? What this desire does is, it wields your knowledge, wields your intellect. It paralyzes your intellect, jams your intellect. Now what is intellect? It is the storehouse of all your wisdom, knowledge, everything is present in intellect. Now what does this desire do? Avritya, it covers, it wields. So whenever you have to take a decision, you have to consult your intellect. Intellect is the storehouse of knowledge. Intellect tells you, this is right, this is wrong, this is what you have to do, this is what you are not supposed to do. Last time when you did it, you suffered. So therefore this time don't do. Everything is told by whom? Intellect. What does this desire do? It wields that intellect. And once the intellect is wielded, you are no more able to access that intellect. Though the intellect is present, it is of no use to you because the access is cut off. Once your intellect is thus paralyzed, rendered useless, now what happens to this person? There is no reference, there is nobody to guide you, what is right, what is wrong. So in that heat of the moment, under the compulsion of that desire, he commits blunders, sin. So what happens after committing the sin? Once everything is over, act in haste, repent in leisure. The end result is dukkham. Rajasastu phalam dukkham. Rajasastu phalam. But this dukkham in a way becomes a blessing in disguise. How? Always dukkham is blessing in disguise. Always. Whenever you suffer, you become more and more introvert. You start finding out, why am I suffering? Right? You start seeking answers. You try to find out where you have gone wrong. You become more and more contemplative. You become more and more philosophical. It is a truth that if you are coming to spirituality, somewhere you have been Somewhere you have burnt your fingers. Isn't it? Just like that, nobody will come to spirituality. When everything is going on fine, when you are succeeding everywhere in flying colors, who wants spirituality? But somewhere you have suffered. A lot of pain is there, a lot of suffering is there. Whenever there is pain and suffering, you try to find out the ways to come out of that suffering, isn't it? That is how this rajasic person becomes sattvic. It's a blessing. Though at that time you can never see it as a blessing. But over a period of time, when you look back, you will come to know that yes, it was because of that pain that has taken me here. So this dukkham is actually a blessing in disguise. Rajasastu phalam dukkham. This dukkham makes you more and more introspective. Where have I gone wrong? What is the mistake I have done? Why did I do this? So when you have these questions, when these questions start deeply bothering you, Bhagavān himself gives the opportunity to gain the knowledge, gain answers to these questions. And that is how a person comes to the spiritual path. And after having comes to the spiritual path, he starts steadily progressing in his life. This can be a turning point. This dukkham can be a turning point in one's life. The end result, Bhagavān has given two words, lobha and dukkha. As long as lobha is there, there is no question of, you go on and on and on. You earn little money, then there is greed to earn more money, then more money, then more money. But a time comes when the very same wealth you have amassed starts giving you pain. Start making you insecure. You suffer because of this amassed wealth. And then you become introspective. It is true with everything. Whatever this rajasic person strives to gain, name, fame, power, position, relationship, wealth, pleasures. A time is there when there is lobha. I want more, I want more, I want more. But how long? A time comes when this lobha turns into dukkha. Because everything in this world is perishable, impermanent. So whenever you are holding on to something impermanent, and when that impermanent thing slips from your hand, there is intense pain. Pain is directly proportional to the attachment you have to that thing. It can be thing, being, or situation. The greater the attachment, the greater the pain you experience when that thing slips away from your hand. And the truth about this life is, someday or the other, everything has to slip away from you. So that means someday or the other, dukkham will have to come. So rajasastu phalam dukkham. What about ajnanam? Aha, this is the most wonderful. Tamasa phalam. What about the tamasic fellow? Tamasaha phalam ajnanam. Pramada, moha, ajnanam. This is the end result of any tamasic action. He remains perpetually in ignorance. He started with ignorance, remains in ignorance. He will go through all the experiences of life, but knowledge will not dawn. There's a very nice joke. So there was this person who had both the cheeks burnt. So his friend asked, what happened? Both the cheeks are burnt. He said, when I was ironing my dress, somebody called me. And then instead of my mobile, what did I do? I took my iron box and placed it. Thus, this part was burnt. But the friend said, but okay, I can understand one part is burnt. What about the other? That stupid fellow again called me. So he has burnt one cheek. He has not learnt any lesson. He is doing the same mistake again. Why he is doing the same mistake? Because he has not learnt lesson. Ajnanam, bas. We may laugh, but people are like this only. In fact, majority are like this. They suffer, but they are not knowing that they are suffering. That's the intrinsic part. They are not aware that they are suffering. Just like the fellow who is lying down on the road, drunk. We may be suffering by looking at him, but is he suffering? According to him, ignorance is bliss. He is blissful. Isn't it? Tamas is something like that. Knowledge doesn't come. The viparita jnana only happens. There is a Hindi song, right? Hindi film song. In that, there is one line. पीते हैं इसलिए जिंदा हैं, नहीं पीते तो मर जाते. What is that song? Chingari. Chingari koi bhadke, something like that. To savan usse bhujaye. So the fellow is very sad and he is singing. And one of the line is this. In the end it says, I am drinking, that is why I am alive. If I were not to drink, I would have died long back. A classic example of tamas. According to him, this bottle is his friend. Viparita jnanam, it is called tamas. The one who is enemy, he has considered that thing to be his friend. Now I'll give a more intense example. There will be very many people who will discourage you from attending satsang. It can be your husband, it can be your wife, it can be some relative. They say, don't go to satsang and all that. Those Swamijis, they are all cracks. I myself had such wonderful examples. There was one lady who used to come for the talk. Then that lady said, Swamiji, why don't you come to my house for bhiksha? So a particular date was fixed. Lunch was fixed. So this lady, she took me. She sent the driver and all that. Car was sent. I went to her house. Now, unfortunately, her husband was dead against these Swamis. This lady did not tell me that also. He was there. Now he started. I was sitting there. You Swamijis are all leeches in the society. You don't do anything. Empty talks. All contradicting statements. Whatever you preach, you never follow. All of you say, I am not the body, I am not the body. If you are not the body, why are you wearing this dress? Why are you eating food if you are not the body? Why are you wearing slippers? You take care of your body and what do you preach? You are not the body. Hypocrites. Escapists. You don't want to face problems in life, you run away and you are the ones who are going to guide the people. Now what can you say? You have to just remain silent. Yes, sir. You are right. You have a point. Right. What I am trying to say is, these are the people who just can't stand spirituality, spiritual knowledge, spiritual people. So where will they remain? They will have to remain ignorant alone because the very source of knowledge they are criticizing. Right? They are very allergic to this satsang. They are very allergic to Swamijis also. And they have a fear that if my husband or wife go to this satsang, they also may become a Swami. They have this fear. These are all tamasic attitudes. The very source of knowledge you are scared of. So where will you remain? You will remain dark only. You will remain in the dark. Just like that bird in the desert. It is said that whenever an animal comes and chases that bird buries its head into the sand. And now the bird thinks, oh, now I am safe. Because I am no more seeing that animal, so I am safe. Now is the bird safe? Foolish bird. Or it is something like, sun is shining brilliantly and I close my eyes. Poor sun, thousands of times bigger than the earth. It is giving light to the entire world, but can it remove the darkness which you are experiencing by closing the lids? You still experience darkness, though the whole world is. The sun can shine, but who can remove the darkness which is inside? These are these tamasic people. They hold on to some stupid notion and they will not leave it. They have such closed minds, they are not open to new suggestions, new knowledge. They hold on. It is something like that blind people trying to know what an elephant look like. Elephant. So one fellow held the rope, what is that? Tail. And he said, elephant means it's like a rope. As he has made his conclusion. Another fellow held the foot of the lion. Elephant means it's like a pillar. Another fellow touched the stomach. Elephant is like a wall. So everybody had their own strong notions. Nobody is seeing the bigger picture. Everyone has taken one small part and that small part itself is taken as the whole. This is the tamasic vision. What is sattvic vision? Sattvic vision is, he is seeing plurality, but he is able to see the oneness which is behind this plurality. The vision of oneness is sattvic vision. Vision of plurality is rajasic vision. Rajasic vision, he sees different things. He compares and contrasts. This is rajasic vision. What is tamasic vision? He takes up something and holds on to it like a monkey. He is not willing to listen to any other thing. My religion alone is great. My nation alone is great. My community alone is great. This is tamasic vision. You try to help him, he doesn't want to listen to you. In front of such people, just remain quiet. Because he is like a cup which is turned upside down. Don't try to pour anything. He is not ready to listen. People who are not ready to listen, people who are not open-minded, never ever advise them, even if they be your own children. Right? This wisdom we must have. So such people are there. So where do they remain? Pramada, moha. Moha means total delusion. What is right, he will think it as wrong. What is wrong, he will think it as right. So what is the end result? Ajñānam is the end result. There is no possibility that even a ray of knowledge can enter into him, peep into him. No possibility. He has shut all doors. Right. In different fields we find such people. Here we are not trying to discuss people, here we are trying to analyze our mind. Don't forget this. There are some states where we don't want knowledge. We just want to prove that I alone am right. Bas. Then that is a tamasic attitude. In that attitude, what prevails is only ignorance. Right. More of it we will see tomorrow. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om.